I am your host, RGL Biz Coach, and I just want to welcome everybody to the show today. You're going to be in for a treat, a really big treat. All right, okay, very good, good. You all chill down a little bit back there. No, but you're really in for a treat today if you're tuned in. All right, I've got none other than Deirdre in the house. My daughter is from Atlanta, GA, and she's right here. She's going to be co-hosting this show today, and we'll be getting back. We'll be talking. But I'll tell you, today is very special, and what I want you to know is by the end of this show, you're going to know how to use your mind to create your ideal life. And this is going to be coming from an excerpt from one of my favorite YouTubers, Dr. Moonbee, and she's going to be laying out some information. You got to listen very, very closely when it comes on. It's going to be coming on in the next segment, but listen very, very closely because she's dropping information that's coming from the ancestors. You got to hear it. You got to hear that. And also, you're going to be getting 5 powerful keys today as to how to generate massive wealth investing in real estate in paradise. Now, it can't get any better than that, all right? I'm talking about generating massive wealth investing in paradise. That's going to be the whole second half of the show because I'm going to be talking about that trip. As I told you last week, this week I'm going to be disseminating a lot of information pertaining to my reconnaissance trip that I did to Natal, Brazil, and what I saw was just amazing. But again, I'm going to be laying out the 5 keys that you can use. You can turn those keys one at a time. You can turn them all, or you can just pick any one that you want to generate massive wealth investing in this paradise-like place. I'm telling you, you got to really be tuning in for that one. And also, I want you to feel positive about yourself and understand that the universe is on your side. It's a whole new day and time today. The universe is at a different location. The energy that's coming in is high. And if you are a person who's richly melanated, you got the right thing inside of you to be able to process and decipher this energy. And I want you to know that the universe is on your side. And so this is what the show is going to be about today. I'm telling you, you're really in for a treat. And before that, let me just talk. I like to talk about some of the things that go on, especially the weather. It's been tricking us because last week I told you it won't rain at my house. It'll rain all around. But in my house, it won't rain. And that means I got to get out in there in the evening, and I got to get up early in the morning. I got to water the lawn. You know what I'm saying? And again, I've got to do my rain dance, my rain ritual or something, and get those clouds to open up to bring some water down. And even last week, I remember I just went up to the supermarket. I'm in Giant, which is not even 10 minutes from my house, and it was raining so hard we couldn't even come out the store. But when I got home, it hadn't rained. So I got to reverse that. Something we got to do. Rob, what can I do? You know what I'm saying? You have any rain rituals that you were familiar with?
Wash your car.
Okay. Oh, God, you said it. Every time I wash the car, you're right, it rained. That's what I got to do. I got to wash the car. Thanks a lot. Okay, hey, you all out there, that was coming from DJ Rock. The sensational DJ Rock, I should say. All right, over the weekend I had to be tuned in to television. I didn't even realize that the U.S. Open for golf, it was on. And I'm telling you, a little exciting. I'm not as excited about checking out golf ever since our main guy, Tiger Woods. He's kind of no longer in it anymore. I don't know if he's going to be able to really win any more majors. I hope he does, but I don't know. It doesn't appear to be that way. I didn't even see his name this time, much less the body. But anyway, I saw it to the end, and I caught, I guess, maybe the last couple of hours of it, and the gentleman by the name of Wyndham Clark. Wyndham Clark was the actual winner, and he was 10 under. I remember that. And like I said, it was very exciting. He seemed to be very excited about himself and winning that. And when I went and did my research to find out how much money they actually received, I understand why he was very happy. He got $3.6 million. Well, for the tournament. And the tournament, I don't know how many days. Usually it's maybe 2 days or 3 days or something like that. 3.6 million smackaroos is what he was able to put in his pocket. So I know why he was so excited. He was hugging everybody, when the show was over. I would have done the same thing. So I'm telling you, kudos to Wyndham for winning that. I don't know how much he's got to pay Uncle Sam. You know what I'm saying? Because Uncle Sam always wants his part. And I don't know how they do it. I guess they just write one check and give to them. And I don't know if they deduct for taxes and everything. But either way, it doesn't matter. Even if they took taxes, even if they took 50%, he still got $1.8 million he's walking away with. So, very lucky brother. Lucky guy. He took that one home. And so what else we got going on over the week? Oh, hey, one thing I got to remind everybody. Today is June 20th, which means tomorrow is June 21st, which means that we are right here at the summer solstice. And I want to explain for anybody who doesn't know what the summer solstice is. The summer solstice, first of all, is the longest day. Well, all the days have 24 hours, but what I mean is the longest, we get the most sunlight out of all 365 days of the year will be tomorrow. That is the summer solstice, and that happens to be where the sun is located and where we are, and the sun's a little further away, so, it's beaming down, sending the energy. We get the most of it. Tomorrow is the summer solstice, and that's very important because also a lot of people, from spiritual practitioners and, prayers and everything, there's supposed to be some special power that is connected with the summer solstice. And so for any of you, I know that some of my instructors have taught that a good thing to do is just fast. Say this is a very good time to fast. So I just want to put that out there. So the summer solstice tomorrow, June 21st. And that also is if I'm not mistaken, the first day of summer. Am I right? Oh, no. That's just to celebrate it. A lot of people are confused with that. But Memorial Day kicks off how should I say it? It's like the way that we celebrate summer. It starts like Memorial Day. But if you talk about actual summer, I'm pretty sure it's tomorrow. It starts on June 21st. So that's another thing that's coming in. And what else do we have? Oh my God. Juneteenth. Juneteenth is picking up speed. And I got to ask you, Deirdre.
Yes.
All right. First of all, how you feeling today?
I feel good today. I've enjoyed the visit here.
All right.
I love being around melanated people, especially people who are so successful. It's just very intriguing. It's very inspiring.
Cool. So let me ask you, Deirdre, what are some of the things that have inspired you since you've been here?
Well, definitely visiting the National Harbor, the Great National Harbor. That is one of the most beautiful places I have visited. I love being around so many melanated people that look like themselves, not trying to look like anyone else. So I like to be around people who represent us in that way. And I mean, just everything, the water, especially visiting, with you, everything has been good so far. So I've really enjoyed it.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. And so now let's get into this Juneteenth. You understand? Because it caught me. I must admit, it kind of caught me by surprise because I was at the bank on Saturday and they mentioned something about, something can't happen and not going to happen until Tuesday or Wednesday because Monday is a holiday. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't know what was going on. I said, well, I didn't know that Father's Day. Oh, and I got to talk about Father's Day. Okay. I'm like, when did Father's Day become a holiday when the banks and everything shut down? And then it dawned on me. It's like, no. Come on, wake up. Juneteenth. So Juneteenth was yesterday. It's just so many things going on. I tell you, it's hard even keeping up sometimes. But Juneteenth is picking up momentum. I can see that. Tell us a little bit about the National Harbor and the function that we happened to experience yesterday. What's your feelings about it?
Well, yeah, I enjoyed visiting out at the National Harbor. They actually had a community event that different guest speakers, people doing poetry, had people on the Congos, just a little bit of everything for everybody. It was really enticing. If you had family, if you were out there with your loved one, whoever, you would have enjoyed yourself. I even enjoyed, they had a few little kids that got up on stage and did some performances that were just volunteer out of the crowd. So, it was really interesting, very educational. And what I also noticed in the crowd was so much of the Juneteenth wardrobes that were on. People really came out to celebrate, and I think that they really were successful in that.
I have to agree with you 100%. And I was just amazed at the color. I mean, like that flag that they were using, and that banner that was up on the big screen.
Yes.
It just looked very good. And then to look back and to see all the people who just came, it seemed like in 15, 20 minutes, the place just got packed. Wall-to-wall people, and it was definitely some good entertainment going on. And with the drummer, I always love the percussion, always have, and it was just good. I don't know who came up. I got to do some research and just see who designed the banner and the flag and everything, and but it was very impressive. That's all I can say.
Oh yeah.
And I'm wondering, we kind of missed the vendors, because what I believe, I think that a lot of the garbs that people were wearing, the T-shirts and everything that had the Juneteenth on it, they probably bought them because it was too many with some of the same. You understand? And I just think that maybe they were sold by some of the vendors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate we missed the vendors. I was looking forward to doing a little shopping.
All right, got you. But Juneteenth, I'm telling you all, it is picking up steam. And I can see, like next year, I'm not going to sleep on that. I'm going to try and organize something. And I think there's so many ways that this could go, because with Juneteenth, it's a perfect time to maybe focus on business and more people getting into business and just doing things that's going to generate wealth, and it's going to have a positive impact on the community. But it's all there. It's all there for the taking right now, and it's a perfect time to actually be involved. And you know what I'm saying? You could actually be one of the ones to help shape what this holiday is all about.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I even went back and I looked at a couple of videos last night to gain some additional perspective. And for anyone who doesn't know what Juneteenth is, Juneteenth is representative of supposedly the last enslaved people who were down in Texas, who never got the word that slavery was over. And the master definitely didn't tell them. I don't even know if master knew himself. Just imagine, if you think about it, if you're in a very remote location and you keep in mind there were no cell phones back then, there was no television, how do you actually get that word that slavery was over? But anyway, somebody figured it out that there were still people down there enslaved who didn't know. And so the word got out to them that, look, it was like, yo, you don't have to work anymore for master, okay? Not for free, at least. You can work, but master gonna have to give us some duckies. Master gotta pay you some money from this point on, because it is over. Slavery is all over. And so when that word got out, again, according to history, these were some of the last ones who knew it. I still say that I don't know if that's 100% correct. Again, just going back to what I was saying previously, how would you know if you're in a very remote location and if you're just not wind of all, you're just not getting the information just simply because of the way that you are, the way that you socialize and the people who you're around and everything. And I imagine there were still some other ones who were still enslaved. And some other thing, I got to do a little research, because I know that there were people of African descent who were actually enslaved by Native Americans. And a lot of the Native Americans, when it was over, didn't want to release those slaves either. Now, a lot of people are under the impression that, the natives are cool with the black folks and all of this and that. And in reality, some were not. Some were actually paid to capture runaways. They were paid to capture runaways and to bring them back. and they would receive a ransom or whatever for actually doing that. And a lot of them, like I say, they had enslaved the Africans, and they didn't want to give them up. And I know that the actual military had to go up and to free a lot of those enslaved black people who were being held by the Native Americans. But I just want to do, like I said, from this point, I'm going to continue doing more research on Juneteenth. You know, what it's, I guess some of the other nuances associated with it. And actually, I think there was a lady who was advocating that this becomes a holiday. She felt like it should be. It was just a total impact, simply because now you can say with Juneteenth that slavery is actually over. It is really, really over. And that is a day that deserves recognition.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, so what's your opinion on it? Talk to me about it.
Yeah, I 100% agree. It is American history. So we celebrate many other holidays that had absolutely nothing to do with us, or actually had to do with our demise. So we should 100% support a holiday when it comes to our ancestors being free. Can you imagine working for your employer today for 2 years for free?
My God.
For 2 years, two years. I can't imagine that. So that's basically what they were going through. So I think it's an American holiday, and people of all color, if you are an American, that's a holiday that should be celebrated. So I'm 100% supportive.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All right, so that's all about Juneteenth. Now, Dee Dee, what I want to talk about a little bit more, tell me some things about Atlanta, and compare and contrast Atlanta to the Washington, D.C., this area, Maryland, you know what I'm saying, the DMV and all.
Okay.
Talk a little bit about it.
Well, there are a lot of similarities. One of the reasons that I chose to move into the Atlanta area was because there are so many melanated people there, and there are a lot of successful melanated people there. It's one of the top places to go if you are an entrepreneur. For myself, especially if you're a female, there's a lot of female entrepreneurs that have become very successful. So that was one of the things that called me into that area. So there are a lot of similarities, I'll say, but there are some differences too. I will say, when it comes to the energy of the people, and I'm big on energy.
Yes.
I enjoy the energy of the DC area a bit more. I don't know if I might be partial, because I did grow up in the Maryland area. I went to high school, middle school and high school actually, Hyattsville, Maryland area. So I'm very familiar with the DC, Baltimore, Maryland, Alexandria, Virginia area. So I don't know if maybe I'm a little biased just because I have history here. But I will say, I noticed there's a difference in the energy of the people that are around the DC area compared to the Atlanta area. I find that the people here tend to be, in my opinion, a bit more down to earth. And I like that a lot of us, we look like us. It doesn't feel like we're trying to copy or emulate another race of people. So I really do enjoy that.
Well, that's very good. I mean, I'm glad that you were able to notice all of that. Okay. And like I said, it's not going to be 100% in any place that anyone might go. But I just think with the whole, this northeastern corridor, and I always say, well, you know, this area, are we, you know, it's like either we are the most northern south or the most southern north.
Yeah.
You know, you pick which one you like to call it. I mean, again, Maryland was part of the Confederacy.
Yes.
However, there was still a little more liberties that the people got to experience. And, you know, when slavery actually was coming to an end, I think there were more of them who gained freedom. And even when slavery was being carried out, because this is not a climate that produces cotton. You know, and so many people, when they think about slavery, they think about the cotton.
Right.
Even though that wasn't the only thing the slaves did. It was just the number one commodity that was in the world at that time, and it just became so valuable. And so many of the black people were directed there, and with that cotton, they come out with some new cotton, and it grew very fast. It was very low, and because again it was the number one commodity in the world, what Maryland and Virginia and parts of North Carolina happened to be breeding grounds. They happened to be, because they killed the transatlantic slave trade. And so they still needed slaves to be able to supply this huge demand that was out there. And so with Maryland, again, Virginia, parts of North Carolina, they use those as breeding grounds, and where like they say, like women, you could be 20, 25 years old and you've already had 15, 20 children because
Right.
they were just making them. You get the male slave and just make them go in, and his job is just impregnate these women. And a lot of the women said a lot of the kids would die, or a lot of women would die just trying to have a birth. But that was what was done a lot here in these states, the Maryland, Virginia, and parts of North Carolina. I know when you get to other parts of North Carolina, they grew cotton there. I know that for a fact. There was cotton that was grown there too. But the bulk of it we're talking about was down in Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Georgia, South Carolina. And it was like, really, if you're talking about the crux, if you're talking about where slavery was at its worst, you're going to be talking about those states. Now, I always like to mention, it's kind of poetic justice, because back in the day, the most wealthy state that was in the Union was Mississippi. And the reason being is because it has the most slave, I won't say just most slave, but it had the most farms, cotton farms. And so they were very resistant to it. And I guess that's why a lot of those whites in that part of the country have the feeling that they do, or the reason they've been so resentful and everything. But fast forward today, because of their history, they went from being the most wealthy state in the nation to becoming the poorest state in the nation. And you can look at almost any metric, you're going to find that Mississippi is at the bottom today. If you're talking about education, you're talking about income, there's health care, just go right down the line. Mississippi is at the bottom. But again, that's karma, that's the poetic justice, and that's just the way that it is. And so, anyway, I'm just happy that Juneteenth did exist. I'm so, oh my God, I can't even fathom some of the things and some of the conditions that our ancestors had to go through. And so, it's just something to be proud of. I'll put it like that.
Definitely.
Okay, all right. What we got to get ready to do, because we got to keep this show moving today. There's a lot of information, a lot of things that's going to be disseminated. And as I mentioned, coming back, you're going to hear Dr. Moonby. You haven't heard Dr. Moonby it's been about a year, because this is going to be my first time sharing information from Dr. Moonby with me coming back to the Business in Motion. And I also want to let you all know that probably next week, I'm going to be announcing the launch of the new Business in Motion. I shared a little bit of information last week, but I can tell you more. I'm going to be doing contests. We're going to be giving away trips. I'm talking about round trip airfare, hotels to the Caribbean for you if you've got the right answer, because we're going to be running on some of these contests. Just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about, I want to test the knowledge of you to see how much you know about Black history, how much you know about Black businesses and things of that nature. So the new Business in Motion is coming, and the launch date will be given next week, so that you can all get prepared. You can all go on to Google and start Googling information so that you might be able to be the winner. With that being stated, don't go anywhere. We're getting ready to take our first break. We'll come back and you will get to hear Dr. Moonby. I will see ya in a few minutes.